trouble working on. Yeah.
Same old, same old. I went to, I want some input.
To me, it looked like a Japanese
Okay, cool. Well,
Okay, just this side, not the other. This was Midnight Scribbles.
okay. Okay, cool. I'll do it in order that I grab it, and then you've been working on something too. Yeah. Sure. You went all the way to.
Yeah, I have to wait for pieces.
Pictures? You want to email it to me. Okay. Okay, it should be good. We should be good. Yeah. And one thing about like a lot of the artists is a good practice is to draw through and create the shapes through the objects. I don't know if I haven't taught about that, but we'll be talking about that sometime. But you know, kind of drawing through shapes, finding overall shapes rather than just the outside lines. That's going to really help you out with form, and instead of just kind of guessing where those bumps are on the outside, focus on what are the shapes going on inside of these forms. So yeah, but these are very careful drawings, so it came out really nice. All right. Yeah, good use of a sketchbook. I like to see it going across the pages too. Really nice. All right, let's get to it. I'm sorry, I'm going too slow. All right. Good job. All right. So we got 2 illustrations here by Anna. Huh?
I just gave my name.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
Sorry.
Anna.
What is it, Dory? Aisha.
Aisha.
Not Dory, not Dory, but if you'd like to call me Dory, I'm good with Aisha.
I'm so sorry.
I hope you actually know who it is. I'm originally from Pakistan.
You want to talk about these paintings you have here?
So the one on the left, the pots, that's in my backyard, and I kind of did that in an hour, just sitting there. I'm trying to do the live painting, getting ready for what we're going to be doing in a couple of weeks. So that was my practice session.
That's great. And then this one here.
This one here, last night I couldn't sleep, so I turned the lights on ever so dimly in my room, and so I wouldn't wake my husband up, and I just scribbled on that page, whatever came to mind. Remember, just do what I need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are these these similar kind of flowers that you have in these pots here?
No, not at all.
No?
These are just flowers that.
Just kind of invented?
Literally, this is like a midnight, I can't sleep. Yes.
Mm.
Just needed to relax my mind for a minute.
And patterns and the colors and the flow. This is really nice. I really like this. Is it like this?
It is like.
Okay. So fun. Do you feel like sitting with these flowers here kind of inspired or helped kind of?
It could. I naturally gravitate to flowers. So yesterday afternoon we gone to Rogers Garden. Just the most beautiful nursery, and I love seeing the flowers.
Yeah.
And I was just walking through the flowers. And I guess that's what was in my mind.
Cool.
That's what came out on the paper.
Yeah.
Not intentional, it just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fun. So
It was
great.
fun, actually.
Yeah. And you've done a lot of flower kind of studies and practices. So it's cool that you're like kind of combining your memory and also some of the studies that you've been working on. and it all kind of coalesces into something free form. But it takes a lot of studying to get to this point. You did. I'm saying that you've had a lot of study, you know. So it's that's why we do our studies, so that when we put it all away and we just kind of do it without thinking, then it's jazz and it's fun. And when it's fun, it comes out good.
It's actually very good.
Cool. Really awesome. I'm excited to see more. I love this.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys like it? Anyone else? Okay. Alrighty. Cool.
I have this one that I think is like
Sure. We got a bit of a list here, so we'll put it in the pile here, and we'll get it over here. I can grab it when I'm done with the last person here. All right. So you weren't here last week for the art show. Yeah. So you've been working on this for the whole semester, right? Yeah. It's okay. I like that you know are kind of following your own kind of
It's very
style. of
difficult at
working.
home to try and concentrate on it. Somebody's always wanting something. The dog, the husband.
And now the teacher, the student, your neighbor.
Just plug along. And, yeah, I just wondering if people can help me out, maybe improve it a little bit. It looks a little washed out up there.
Mhm. Do you have the image you're working from, or is this something that you've invented? Okay. Yeah, you could check it out. I mean, are you going for photorealism, or are you going for your own style?
Just try to copy what I see. Not exactly. Now, I was thinking maybe it could use a little more yellow in there, the yellow leaves.
Here we go. Such an interesting picture. Is this a painting we're looking at?
I thought it was a photograph.
I don't know. Yeah, the water is very blue, but I mean, sometimes photography does that.
Yeah.
Photography will flatten all blues. It'll be a specific color of blue. There's even a time of postcards where they would cut out the sky and glue in a specific sky like that sells well, and it's a very specific blue, and you see it on a bunch of postcards. But okay, so this is just from a photo. You're getting the lights and the shadows over here. Pretty sweet. I think.
Put in an extra tree on the
Mm-hmm.
right side.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got the spacing too far. The tree on the right at the bank. To the bank, and then farther to the right, it's a little bit wider than the original. So I had to put in another tree.
Hmm. I think the greens here are a little too vibrant back here. I think they
Right.
could be toned down, either a bit of white and that blue, or even
The greens on the left side. too,
Yeah.
Are a little bit too much. The dark greens right above the rocks.
Yeah, and one of the things I do with this is just for opaque. This is acrylic, correct? One of the things I do is I get a darker color than you think it needs to be, and then
Brownish.
yeah,
Brown.
even darker maybe. I mean, get a little ultramarine blue in there. I know.
Orange and blue.
So yeah.
Now, see up at the top, I can see that I was trying to get the dark leaves in the
Uh-huh.
background there up at the top.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
darker leaves.
Yeah.
Trying to get some of that in there.
So I would say start off something dark, and then you can go on later on top with something brighter, and that way you can kind of see it. There's a bit more depth there, so there's like something shadowy behind it, and then there's something really bright in front of it. Cool. Well, really lovely work.
Looking at, yeah.
I mean, I think you're ready to be done. I'm excited to see what's the next project you got in mind.
I haven't decided yet. I do like landscapes. I do
Yeah.
like rocks.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
maybe,
yeah. I mean, it would have been. I think it'd be good. Maybe find something that you're close to. Maybe a photo that you've taken yourself. Something that you're familiar with, even. Because when you have that personal connection, you see colors differently. Because this is very kind of postcardy kind of colors and things. And I don't know. Have you ever visited this location? Yeah. Because if you had visited this location, then maybe you have a certain memory, or maybe you were with somebody, and what part of your life were you at when you were there, and you can maybe capture some sort of mood with this environment if you're standing in it.
I usually choose projects just by seeing a picture that I really like.
Sure. Yeah.
I can see if I find something photographic.
Yeah. I mean, even if you were going off the photo, maybe have something that I don't know, something different with it. Find something to say with it. Why is it that you found this picture pretty? Does it speak to you in some way? And how does it make you feel? Can you capture that feeling in any creative and fun ways or different ways? So I think it's good photorealism. I think it's time to start playing around with trying to say something with it now. So it's good work. You're working hard on this. I love seeing you working hard.
Working on it.
Okay.
Try to incorporate some of those.
I know, suggestions. I shouldn't even. Yes. We got one more person, and then we'll. Okie dokie. So we have Zong Mai. Hello. One last one. Oh, we got two more. All right. So you've been working with colored pencils? Okay. Cool. Good drawings. So we got are you working from your book? Or is this from just a pear, an apple, and a lemon on your? Okay. Cool. All right. Oh, this is fun. Wow. Such pattern work in there. Okay. And you have some shadows in here you're playing around with. Lot of patterns. I love your patterns. Okay. So rude. I'm gonna mute my phone. Okay.
That's colored pencil.
No. This is not colored pencil. This is colored pencil. All right. So, are you done with this? Are you working on it still?
Basically.
Okay. So, what were you exploring in these pictures? You found a picture online, or is this from the book as well? Okay. Cool. All right. Yeah. So, I think it's good to work from the books in the masters. I hope that maybe you can take some pictures yourself, or even have some real pears and apples and lemons in front of you, So you can actually have those in front of you because you can buy these at the store. So, you know, having things in front of you in real life, textural that you can touch and turn and spin and same with landscapes too. The fact that you can turn your head and look at something to the right and the left. You know, you can tell a different story if you're in the location. And when you're looking at a picture that's very complicated too, it might be a good idea to be like, maybe I just want to show this, or maybe I just want to show this shadow on the wall and this doorway here, you know, or do I want to do it wide? We'll play around with that today. But overall, I love the patterns, orange and the yellow, the orange and the blue. You're playing with warms and cools a lot. Yes, good. Complementaries. It's almost neutralizing together. It's creating a nice kind of neutral brick kind of color. Yeah. So I would just say kind of focus on some big shapes. This one's really cool. So what are some challenges that you're facing when you're doing these paintings?
From this picture, I just want to practice how to draw into the natural sense of the tree, different sun and different location, and the relationship between the soil and the tree, sky, everything.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting colors. I like your color mixing a lot. You have a lot of very interesting neutrals, kind of getting that red and that green together. So I think working in layers, you know, like I don't know what the image. Oh, this one's got a lot of movement in it. I think it's really nice. Were you trying to make it kind of abstract? I mean, as far as a painting goes, it looks like a great painting. I think it's a successful painting. We've got multiple layers in there. Blue. Okay. Does anyone want to say anything about these works?
I look at the first one with the trees and I kind of feel like there's wind blowing through my hair looking at it. It's
Mhm.
it went through the grass
Mhm.
and the trees. Really nice.
Yeah. It kind of goes to the principles of art. And I see a lot of movement and rhythm. And I like that you have very different greens in there. You're mixing your own greens. You're really looking at the colors, I think. So you know, don't let just like don't ever just use the color straight out of the tube, you know. I think I know it's so easy to do, and there's certain situations where you can, but I wouldn't say for the most part of your painting don't have it for your whole painting. You know, kind of discover things.
That's why I have 50 different tubes of paint.
Oh no, you only need like 12, and then you mix it yourself. Save you a lot of money that way. Because you probably only use like 10 of them, even though you have 50. But I mean, you know, everyone's different. I'm just a simplified artist. Become a master at a few colors, and you can do great things. If you're not a master at 50 colors, then you might have a hard time. All right. We got an ice flow. Am I holding this correct? Okay, okay. All right.
It looks pretty cold.
Yeah, very. So it's just monochrome. Is this from last semester or this semester?
So this last week,
Okay, okay. Hmm. Do you have the picture?
I think, in the book.
Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
It's,
I think
it,
he really showed you the
I think
picture.
composition wise, it's interesting.
Yeah.
It looks like the Arctic.
Yeah. It feels very cool. You're capturing really good feels with color. So I'm liking these moods. I'm liking these colors. I'm liking these patterns. These are your strengths, and sometimes it's good to kind of lean on them. Yeah. All right. Cool, cool. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I hope.
Thank you.
Of course.
Is that colored pencil or paint? Like, what's your meaning?
Okay.
Colored pencil.
Oh, pretty. Yeah.
So we have one last person here wanting to share.
Yeah.
So we have Sarah.
Still a work in progress. but-
I'm so bad with names. What's-
Sandra.
Sandra. Okay. I saw Sarah. Okay, Sandra. All right, we have Sandra here. Very shiny. Very cool. You want to talk about your work here?
Oh, yeah, I'm still finishing it up, you know,
Mhm.
I had some questions about the teacup and the spoon. I'm wondering if I should revise it or what can I do to, you know, but I kind of love it. I made up some of my own flowers because I just thought they'd fit better. And I thought it was 2 ground, so I'm thinking, you know, like a dark green would look gorgeous with those colors. So I put some dark green in there that really, you know, I just thought it would really add to it, so. I'm changing up the flowers because they just look too dried out to me, but I love the other colors. So like I was walking through Costco and they had like these flowers and I was just making mental notes. Yeah, that's gonna look good in the bouquet. That one's gonna look good. That's how I draw it.
It's analogous. It's analogous.
Analogous?
Like we have last semester.
Yeah, maybe more. Maybe closer to tertiary because she's having red, green, yellow,
Not a lot of green though.
magenta, green, and yellow.
See, you see it like in the shadow.
Yeah.
And a little bit of that flower. And then, I mean, I can always change it back to dark brown again. But when you say tertiary and analogous, you mean the water, the color wheel, right?
Yeah.
You need a color wheel.
I have. Yeah, but I just,
So you've been using the frisket or the masking fluid?
yeah, the first time.
Okay.
I used some, yeah. Yeah,
Cool.
I'm thinking I might just leave it on there and let it become one with the paper because I'm loving the way it's in that book.
Yeah.
And I'm loving, I kind of love it on there. And I either that or I bought some white acrylic paint because I like more of a white, even in my watercolor. And the watercolor white's useless. You
Yeah.
know, I like the firm white in there, so can you leave the brisket on there without any damage? I just think it adds to it.
I don't know about how it ages because it's mostly latex, and I believe latex yellows over time and kind of falls apart. I mean, that's why they mostly use it for like Hollywood stuff because it doesn't last a long time. They're okay with it falling apart. So I think long term might not be the best, but it's also not allowed. I mean, it's art, so yeah. So you're wanting to create this dark mass of these leaves here, and you're wanting to change that to green.
Oh, well,
Or-
I'm gonna keep some of the leaves in there as brown,
Yeah.
but what I did was with the stems, and like, if you see on the right side,
Mhm.
the red blooms and the kind of the willowy stuff I made green, because I really thought it added to it, the
Mhm.
green and the red
Yeah.
look really nice. But I, some of those blooms in there just don't do it for me, so I was gonna change it up a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. And the greens, I would say, you could even have some of these greens over in this like orangish area and kind of layer it on with, that complementary color to create that nice brown that you have here using that green. So you can have those layers of colors kind of layered on top of each other, dry it out, paint on top of that green, see how it looks. I would say test it out with a little separate piece of paper. Make sure it's what you are looking for. Or just go for it, I guess. I think you're more of the type to just go for it and be like, well, we'll see. So that's probably for the best. I'm a little too careful sometimes. So I admire the can't stop me. I'm gonna do it. This is a crazy subject, but let's just try it. And I'm glad that you're like getting rid of certain elements, like you got rid of this thing there, and you're simplifying certain things, and you're just capturing the feeling. So kind of keep focusing on that, and you'll be doing good.
What about the spoon in the teacup?
Spoon in the teacup looks
Just
good.
to get like a bit of a pewter kind of shine to it, because I got rid of the fire stand.
Right.
Just because I wasn't sure, like every time I looked at it, I kept thinking, what is that?
So the spoon, I mean, it's highly reflective, and there's only going to be one side of the spoon that's really going to be reflecting. The other side's going to slowly get darker and reflecting everything else. So I can see here it's kind of got a lighter area here. This is just a flat gray, so it's lacking that kind of reflection here. So just a little spot of white,
And
or even just kind of lifting up that paint, get it wet, lift it up, can help you out too, probably.
see how I actually do the bowl of the spoon? I'm thinking, should I just do away with that and just do it like a side like the other one had? Because I changed it, I thought it would be cute, but
Yeah, I mean, I think it's to your own taste. I don't know. I have. I think either way would go wrong. Good. I mean, people are mostly gonna be drawn to the flowers and the subject matter and your expressive brushstrokes. I mean, you can hide a lot when you're having a lot of energy everywhere. So I don't think people are really gonna get hung up on the small little things. I wouldn't worry about it so much. So.
I kind of like the water in the vase. I'm loving the vase a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I was worried about that coming out good because it's tricky, but I'm loving it. Like now that I started
Yeah.
from it.
Yeah, you do have to step away, blur your vision, squint your eyes. It's a huge help. The details and the cleanliness of how you use your lines and everything don't matter as much as you think it does. Kind of if you have enough life going on around, people can get kind of yeah. All right, so okay, thank you for sharing. Love to see what you all are up to.
Actually makes me wanna do flowers.
I haven't done it in so long, you know. Sometimes coming back and with all the pigment, it's better. I'm like, wow, this is paying off. Because I look at my old paintings, I'm looking at my new ones, and I'm seeing, wow. Yeah.
Okie dokie. Well, let's get to it, guys. So today I wanted to.
Hey, Bryce, before you get started,
Yeah.
I'm still a little foggy on the trip to the park.
Yes.
We have a class next week,
Yes.
and then the week after is the trip to the park.
Yes.
And what's the name of the park again?
Don Nabe. It's Don Nabe. Knabe. You can check it out today. It probably won't be a full class.
And that's here in
I'll give
Cypress?
you all the details next week. Huh?
It's here in Cypress?
Cerritos, yes. It's literally 8 minutes. Google Maps. Probably faster right now because it's not really traffic.
Thank you.
Sure, sure. Okie dokie.
Are there like a bunch of benches and stuff we can sit on?
Oh yeah, yeah. Tons of benches. There's shady spots. Good vibes. Safe
Impossible not
area.
Impossible not going, because we're going to paint at the park,
Huh?
because we're going to paint at the park.
Yeah.
And I cannot carry all the items.
So what we're really looking for, as far as when you're bringing your plein air equipment,
Yeah, I'm not going.
all you need is
So I can stay home if possible, do some cooking.
and this. So this is all you need. This can fit in a small shopping bag. It's basically all you need. You need a large brush, small brush, and a medium brush. That's all you need. I mean, of course, you know, the brushes might change, but really all you need is 3 brushes. And whatever material you want. So you can choose watercolor or gouache. Yeah.
Sorry. So, I've never been there before.
Uh-huh.
Is there like a parking lot
Yes.
where we'll be able to see you, or is there like?
Yes.
Is it a huge park? or
All
there's,
all
like,
the
small
information will be
little-
given to you next week.
I'm sorry?
All the information will be given next week.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, it's all good.
I'm getting ahead.
But
Never mind.
there's a large lake, a small walk. There's a huge parking lot, plenty of parking. I've never had problems there ever. I'm going there today. I'll be sure to take
Can you send-
specific pictures of
Yeah.
where we're going and
Yeah,
stuff
you
like
have
that.
to read the picture. I mean, like, possible doing painting from the picture, even not going.
It's all about being there. So
Send me the picture.
that's the whole idea. You can
Yeah.
find pictures online. Just Google it. But this is all you need. You just need a small water bottle, a cup,
No, I don't want to drink.
paper,
I
brushes,
have trouble
and
with
material.
walking fast.
Okay,
Walking
it's
fast,
not
I have to
far.
carry a lot. I use the walker to. just let
Don't
me know.
carry too much. This is
Yeah.
all you need.
So I mean, I don't have to carry anything. And I cannot leave the walker. My husband had to leave the walker in and out the car for me.
It's
If I go in the.
so if you can walk to this class, you can walk to the benches. It's literally the same distance. So if you can walk to this class, you can walk to the benches. It's the same distance.
So I mean, like, my legs are.
All right.
Yeah. So I
Well, we
cannot
could talk after
just
class.
use-
I can help you. But let's get to it. So today we're gonna be looking at some Ed Hopper paintings. We'll do some kind of studies here. Let's see. He's a master at capturing mood with perspective. I do believe I'm doing the whole screen, yes. And a lot of portraits, but we're not going to really worry about that too much here. I'm just going to show you that's the one that we're going to be looking at. Just pull that over here so you can see what I'm doing. So when you're trying to draw things out the way you see them, the biggest thing you want to pay attention to, I'm gonna start with just some drawing here. Okie dokie. All right, so that's fine. So I'm gonna do these small little thumbnails, and these thumbnails are just gonna be kind of helpful to kind of get some ideas of how to lay things out. And the very first thing you want to focus on is what is that aspect What is that ratio that you are working in? And we're looking at proportion here. And this is something that you can work on and practice. And certain ratios will work better for certain things if you're working from a photo or from real life. So something long versus something wide. You got landscape, portrait, and then there's also square, otherwise known as round, I guess. I mean, it could be about the same thing. Square, round, it's just equal. That's the same, that's the same, that's different, that's different. And when you're, say we're doing a copy here. If I was going to take everything I had in here and I was to just crop it out and kind of block it in, when you block in an image, all you're focusing on is where are these elements going to be sitting in these squares. So I'm not really worried about the detail. I'm not worried about how many bricks there are or what is their faces looking like. All I'm worried about is shapes and where are they and how big are they. So there's a few ways you can kind of find that. One of my favorite ways is looking for the thirds line. So if you split up this image in thirds, there's thirds in a lot of things. And in photography and in painting, you'll see that this is called the rule of thirds. Very creative, I know. Who would have thought? So we got 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. And basically the rule goes that something interesting is happening at these intersections or in at least 2 of these intersections or 3. But you can kind of see a lot of things kind of line up, especially in this image here. So I'm just gonna pull up Google Images. Sorry, pull this up here. Here we go. So if I had that line going across the third and a third and a third and a third. Of course, this isn't precise, but it's roundabout. Art isn't about being precise. It's okay if things are a little off. But what are you guys seeing? Anyone?
The middle one.
Huh?
The middle one, we'll focus on the middle one.
Okay. The middle one?
Yeah, the middle section.
This section?
Yeah. But almost empty. That is actually is almost empty.
Well, I'm noticing. Is
The
anyone
subject-
else?
The subject more on the right.
No, the
Mhm.
figures
The subject
are
is
on
not
the
on the right.
third one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got these guys. They're right on the thirds line, right there. What else do we see?
The door.
The door.
Yeah.
The door is also on the thirds line. Yeah.
And you see that little bit of light up on the top?
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, I think I'd almost make that bigger. You know, because it seems too small for the amount of light that it's lighting up. I think it'd be a good point of interest. Make it a little rounder and bigger.
Maybe.
And I moved it over a bit so that the people were at least partly into the second, into the center, but not completely, like I still want them off center, but I'd make them a little bit more of the focal point.
Yeah.
But you don't really need.
I'm noticing this right here. The porch, this thing is basically taking up the entire thirds line there. This line here, about the thirds line. I mean, I often see this, like, things being broken up into smaller pieces, but basically having these third lines in your compositions can help you discover things and try to draw them yourself. So when I'm drawing this image, I can see that this line here is just a little bit to the left of that thirds line, and maybe a third of the way over inside of my little line here. So I can see 1, 2, 3. And I could kind of break that down in thirds if I really wanted to.
I see a spiral where these
Mm,
lines go from 1/3 down to the third, along the porch line up to the third, down to
like
the-
this.
Well, yes, the other way, but
Or-
either way, yeah. Where it's kind of framed where it leads you to the people standing on the porch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But kind of breaking things down in thirds or in halves to find where your subjects are. And you'll see that with the horizon as well. You know, if we look at the horizon here, let's see if we kind of connect those dots up. It's about a third of the way down. Maybe almost halfway. There we go. So that's about right there. So that's about a third of the way down is the horizon. Maybe a little bit higher. So when I draw it, I can use that kind of knowledge. To kind of split up and draw things where they need to be pretty quickly. And I'm also going to pay attention to angles here. So I'm just going to kind of start off here. And one way I can do it, you know, I can have like my pencil here, kind of mark that pencil out. And I can do that when I'm like looking really far away too. I'm like, oh, when I'm looking at that here, I can split that up in the third to kind of check to see how far that is away from everything. Is that making sense?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Comparative measuring.
Yes.
You know what could be cool too, is you can make porch kind of like 3-dimensional
Mm-hmm.
and do it like on the lines with perspective.
Yes. So those tools that we've taught already, that you can definitely use those, and I recommend using them. But you can also use, you know, simpler shapes here to kind of break things down. So I'm like, okay, so the porch is just about here. I know that the pole there is a little bit to the left. And I'm just going to focus on like the inside shapes here. There's an angle here, maybe ending over here. And I can look for those angles there. This line going out down here. And then that opening. And I like to draw through things. First thing I do is I draw this stage, basically. So this is where your subjects are sitting on. And I'm looking at the angles here. And I squint my vision. Maybe there's a bit of a glow here or something. But I'm just going to really focus on what's going to be light, what's going to be dark. And then there's going to be the porch ending here, and that's where it's going to be getting dark. I'm not going to really focus on these rows of wood pieces here. Because if I squint my vision, everyone try to squint your vision. Lose all that detail. When you squint your vision, you lose all that detail. And you see a simpler image. That's the whole idea of art that I explore. Because the world is so complicated, and when we're showing an image, it's important to show a simplified form of it all. Okay, so, and when I'm drawing these people, what I like to do is I like to start with just a simple line, and they're leaning over here. And and he's a very dark figure, and maybe I only see him where his shoulder and his head is in this weird kind of shape here when I squint my vision, because I can see that his back is just as dark as the background here, that he kind of fades out, and that she doesn't do that. She's super bright. She's hyper bright. And she's kind of got this kind of sharp angle here. And I'm just going to go to erase here just so you can kind of see that difference there. And her head there. I'm just going to have ovals for today. Okay? So don't worry too much about all the details right now. And the guy's legs are darker than the background, and it's kind of like a triangular shape. So if I was to break this down like a triangle, I can do this. So it's kind of got that kind of triangular shape. Where she's like firmly planted onto that ground there. I don't know. Okay. All right. Good. And I think I have enough information to do a watercolor study. Oh, and I guess this window over here too. Here we go. Here we go. And it's definitely, this area is dark in there. Maybe it needs to be skinnier and longer. Maybe this door needs to be bigger. I can make changes as I go. And, you know, it's not going to be perfect the first time. There. Okay. So when I start my painting here, I think today I'm going to use my calligraphy brush. I'm going to be using watercolor today. Just a kind of a heads up, like who's got watercolor in the class? You want to raise your hand? Okay, and gouache? It's where it's right down the middle. Okay, so I'm going to do some watercolor today.
Bryce?
Yeah.
Dumb question. So doing the small little thumbnails
Uh-huh.
to help with symmetry, like, did I miss something? Like,
Because these are studies. This isn't, it's just, the main point of doing something small is to detract from all the detail. So that you're less inclined to get into the detail. You're less inclined to draw the faces. You're less inclined to draw all the lines. This is just strictly focusing on value. Yeah, that makes sense. No, you're good. Please, and don't stop yourself from asking the dumb questions. It's the dumb questions that everyone's thinking about.
So there's a reason to be afraid to ask.
Exactly. Yeah. So. All right. So you can guys see it here. So. To capture. So I hope you guys are working with something small like this, but to make a nice dark color here, I'm gonna go ahead and get this kind of ultramarine blue. Okay, there we go. And I also get this deep burnt umber, or what's this dark brown here?
Could it be Bernard?
It's what is it called?
It looks like Bernard because it's burnt sienna with
Burnt
more red.
No, burnt sienna is too red, yeah. But this, I'm trying to make like a real dark kind of color here. And I would say have like a piece of paper that you can kind of test out your swatches here. So this is real dark here. In fact, it probably could be darker.
It will lighten as it dries.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I have that nice dark color, and I'm gonna go ahead and make a nice pool over here that's a little more watered down. That should be much lighter. I'm just pulling in water from my water cup. And that should be much lighter. There we go. So when I paint this subject here, and I'm also gonna get a bit of a lighter color over here too. That looks good. More water. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna start out light here. And I'm gonna go ahead, paint everything in except for the things that I deem as pure white, which will only really happen in a few spots in this painting. The girl's skin is really, really bright, as well as the light here. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and bring that out there. Okay. And I'm just gonna go ahead and paint kind of flatly in here, because this will all be that dark. Or darker in this area here. The girl is definitely much lighter. And something you can do with wet paint, get your brush nice and dry, and you can suck up that water, that wet paint there, to get it lighter. Need some paper towels. You guys can paint along.
This is what we're painting.
So you can get it a little wet there. Dry my brush. And this is going to be called lifting out here. And you have to go easy with this because it can damage the paper after not too long. But that's going to kind of create a glow.
So another John guest question.
Hmm?
We need meeting along with you. Not really.
No?
We'll just say no. We'll say no for now. But we'll do another one, and then I'll let you guys get to it. I don't know. I'm so rusty today. Okay. Okay.
Oh, you're doing it all grayscale.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Yeah. So I'm just focusing on working in grayscale here.
So you're working on values.
Mm-hmm. There we go. So I kind of have my grays and my lights down. So we're just going between dark blacks to mid grays to white, and we're gonna simplify this our image
So three
between the
values.
three. Yes, 3 values. So a value is how light or how dark something is, into very simple shapes. And so I have my gray tone here, and only small areas will be bright. Sometimes, you might have different takes on what is the darkest and what is the lightest. So just gonna paint that in there. And I'm just gonna focus on the shadows here. And don't worry about the colors today. And notice that when I'm painting with this line here, I like to point my brush upwards to where that line needs to be. And when I see this bright area here in the picture, I'm just gonna not paint it. Choose not to paint it. And as far as the people go, if they're as dark as that background is, like that shadow is behind that man's legs, that's going to be a shadow there. And half of his head's in kind of shadow. I see the shadow in that door there. I think that's intentional, so that you feel like maybe they have no privacy. Maybe somebody's peeking in that window. I don't know. I don't know. The house looks spooky to me. He's definitely good at making houses and homes look spooky or lonely. And he's mostly in shadow here, so I'm just gonna paint over his whole body there. And of course, this top area here. So to get that dark color again, that ultramarine and that brown, very close to complementary colors, give that really dark color. You might need to do 2 layers. And maybe I'll need to go back in with that middle color again. Here we go. And if it's still wet, I can just kind of get it wet there. Wherever it's wet, it's going to bleed down into it. That's really wet, maybe too wet. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. Any questions, y'all?
One question about I
Mhm.
guess I don't see it now, is it that the area where you have the roof line and the sky is so close in value, you just paint the whole thing?
Yep. Yep. That's exactly right. So because I'm focusing so much on simplifying value, that I'm just going to completely cut out anything that has detail, including that roof. I know there's a roof there, but I'm just going to go and paint that black in because it's so dark that you can barely even see it when you squint your eyes. And that's how he thought when he was painting. Like, that's all he saw. Only later on, towards his more finalized paintings, did he start kind of pushing into it. And of course, there's probably maybe in these real subjects that he's looking at, there's a lot more information. You know, who knows? Maybe there was a crack in the door, or maybe there's a broken. Like, everything here is so precise and clean. There's no way that reality is like that. But it makes such a iconic image. So let's go ahead, make a copy here, okay? So this would be a landscape. Try to use those thirds. Again, find that middle value, that highlight, which means the paper. We're not going to use white paint today. And that shadow. Do we want a new Ed Hopper painting?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Love it. So this is all available on the Pinterest that I sent to everybody. So if you want to have it on your phone, you can. You can even screenshot and draw onto those pictures. Do not turn the pictures black and white. The whole practice here is that, here's a good one. So we'll do this one here. This is actually the one that inspired Psycho. This is watercolor as well. Bates Motel, yeah. But this was painted by him before the movie came out, and this inspired Alfred Hitchcock. Yeah, it's identical. So yeah, we'll do this boy again. What shape do we see?
Rectangles.
Look again.
Okay.
Squares.
Square. We're looking at the overall aspect ratio of the whole thing.
It's a square.
Oh,
It's a square.
Yes. So when we draw that shape, what shape is that going to be?
Square.
Square. Why is there a question? It's a square. Yes. We're drawing a square, and we can split it up in thirds. Yes, this is all on Pinterest. I can share it to the YouTube folk out there. But it's all on our Pinterest form I sent via email today. If you need to see it again, I threw it into the chat as well. Okay, so I'll give y'all. I mean, these things can be done really quickly, but maybe do them small, about the size of a credit card. Nothing bigger than that. Again, squint your vision. See how little detail you need. It's very liberating that you don't need to draw every single shingle. It's very liberating that you don't need to draw every window All you gotta do is kind of focus on the shadows of the windows, and this is already very simplified. So, all right. Sure. So I think at 2:40 we'll do another one.
Yeah, I'm using my
Yes, it worked. What did you do? You just copy this? Yeah, I just print and copy the screen. And then I
And if you guys are having a hard time with finding things, or maybe you just see kind of like a hovering triangle or something, having lines that kind of intersect and connect with each other, like if I had this line over here and this line over here, they're basically on the same kind of route here. So I would draw a straight line right on through.
And then it did it automatically. I just want to do whatever you normally do. That is, so.
Is it falling? Okay. Yeah, this is a watercolor painting. Might help you to kind of draw those shapes of where the light is in the shadows to kind of preserve those and just to try to paint around those shapes here.
And you just have to have green grays, like use light.
Yeah, I would just say you could even do two.
Okay.
So the darkest dark and then the middle dark, which I just start with the middle dark. Yeah. Try not to do this too much. I know I can get carried away with value studies, but they're so essential with so many artist practices.
I just use my pencil to shade it. Is that okay?
As long as you have distinct areas, I want them to be flat colors. So one flat gray, one flat light gray, right, one flat light gray, one flat black, and then one flat white.
And the white is big.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. I know. We'll get some music on. Sounds good.
It's almost spooky.
So we're going to be doing this painting here. I'm going to focus on just the value first, and then I'm going to layer it on with the color. So this is going to be a way of underpainting, really, with watercolor. So I'll go ahead and use. Now, the whole idea of an underpainting is kind of choosing one color for all the values. So in the last picture we had, it was close to black. That would probably be a close to gray kind of tone, and you can use that. But here, his tone's much warmer.
No.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe. Yeah, I think that's good. Yellow ochre. So yellow ochre is this very earthy tone of yellow here. And just to make it a bit darker, because that yellow ochre would be good kind of like as a wash in a way. There we go. I can kind of test it out on the side there. So that's like a good, maybe middle tone. Maybe I'll even add a bit of water in there. And it looks like it picked up some of that red in there. I like it being a bit warmer. A little bit of red, a little bit of orange. Again, like I said, try not to, well, yeah. So that's a nice little mid-tone there. And then for my deepest, darkest shadows, that's where I'll kind of get some of that grayish tone in there. And that'll be kind of my darkest darks in there. So I kind of dance between that gray that I make with that blue and that brown together. That's going to be my darkest blacks here. Let's see. Looks good. But I'm going to make a lot because I'm working in a larger area. I'm going to make a good sized puddle here of these two colors. And then I'm going to have a puddle where it's kind of in between the two colors. So I have the darkest color, the lightest color, and then this one's going to be kind of in the middle there. Okay. I'm going to get that even darker there.
Is this one going to be rectangular?
Exactly. Really pay attention to that. That's the first question to ask. You don't want it to be a square. You want it to be a rectangle. So this has a different aspect ratio. This is more of a landscape. And it works well as a landscape. Because if it was in a portrait fashion, and you are welcome to change the story in your painting. If you want it to be a portrait, let's just say we did that. You know, that's going to tell a different story than this. I mean,
You notice how it never draws the people's features out or the faces in?
no, not really. Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Or this might tell a different story than this. Or let's see. I don't know. So here. So when you're painting out in nature and stuff, you can kind of choose what you want. There's no constraints like what we see in photos and in paintings. When you're out in public, you kind of have to make that decision yourself. Would this image look better as a portrait or would it look better as a landscape? What are you trying to say with it? Now, Ed Hopper is famous for trying to show the solitude of uh, rural life, as well as the solitude of being in the city. And so he wants to show this big landscape and make people feel secluded away from everybody else. It's kind of sad, really. He uses such warm colors sometimes. But yeah. These aren't really about his head there. So I'm gonna go draw this in here. So again, break it down in thirds. I'm gonna draw really lightly with pencil. So that's better. Draw it lighter. Again, just like the last picture, focus on those big, broad blocks. This is called blocking in. What are those big, big shapes here? Yeah. Maybe.
Can you bring that just a little closer so we can see it?
Sure. It's hard to see it because I'm drawing it over so lightly. That way I can erase it away or you won't be able to see it later on. And you might be able to break down certain objects inside the scene into thirds as well, or into halves, however you want to do it. If you just split it in half, what's happening in the middle there? Or, but I'm starting off big here. Just So, and the music stop. So the best way to make everything harmonious is that you can work in this land of light, and that's going to have a lot of yellows in it. It's going to be very bright because that's going to be happening there. And they're going to be like neutral yellows. But you also know that we live in a dome, right? And in this dome, we have blues and shadows here, which is going to be shown in the shadows, especially when you're outside. You can see that blueness in the shadows. So think about light bouncing and reflecting. So you got that light bouncing from this building to the left, and it's going to be bouncing onto this building. So you see how you have a bit of this light here on the side of the structure there, bouncing from there. So I have a little bit of yellow in there. And there's going to be a little bit of blue in there. And it's, of course, those gray tones. That's going to be the shadows. So there's going to be a bit of that in there. So there's a lot of colors kind of bouncing around. So it's never just black. It's never just white. It's never just brown. It's never just blue. It's going to have those bouncing colors. And then on top of it, you have the color of the building or whatever you're working on. And so once you have that, you kind of throw in a little bit of that red in there. Same with the light area. I'm going to have that very bright light kind of color, which is going to be that white and that yellow and that maybe even, maybe some browns, some reds or oranges, because sometimes light is cool, sometimes it's hot. This looks very hot here. But I have that in my reds. This isn't a straight red. That light hitting it is going to brighten it. That light not hitting it over here will darken it. That makes sense? But that red is in both of these colors. But this has less red because there's more light. This has less red because there's more shadow. Different reasons. If you have perfect lighting without any reflections and stuff, then you might find that perfect red. But it only happens in very small areas. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you kind of need to mash all those colors together and really focus on those values like we did in the beginning. And the colors, again, they can look a little different from how it actually looks in the picture, as long as things are as dark as they should be and as light as they should be. So my painting here is not exactly the same as his painting, but it looks correct. And when we're painting in nature, we're not bound to the source material. We're no slaves to the source material. That's a saying artists say. Don't be a slave to the art material. You can take this and you can make it your own, and you can also kind of elaborate on things or play around with color. But think about that light bouncing, and that's going to make a bit of sense. I did a study of Dali this last week. Maybe it's 2 weeks ago. I never showed it. I'll zoom it in. So I did this Salvador Dali image, The Persistence of Memory, classic. So this is the original, and this is mine. Let's see, control, zoom out. Oh no, for this one. Okay. So I might be close, and I'm proud of it, but it's not gonna be exact, you know? Like I try, like my ground is a bit brighter and a little more yellow than his dead area here. His hills are more yellow. Mine are not. He's got certain things pointing. You know, when you're doing these studies, you know, you kind of start noticing certain things that you do that these artists do intentionally. So this is a really good practice that we're doing today. Of course, yours won't look like the original, nor will mine. That's normal. That's what a study is all about. It's all about kind of seeing what do you kind of find yourself doing naturally that this master painter does in his work, and how can you kind of learn from that and use what they do differently or that you don't realize they do differently, and bring that into your work. Anywho, I yeah.
What were you gonna say about the Matrix earlier?
I don't remember. I think I was just talking about the color tone on my screen. This image looks like almost green in the shadows there. Because it's a yellow house and the sky's blue in the shadow, that's probably why it looks like that. Because it's just like a dark yellow shadows look kind of greenish and
It reminds me of the color they used to use in schools all the time to paint the walls, kind of like an institutional color.
yeah.
And then the chocolate should go like the black.
Yeah, that's interesting. Probably intentional.
Those were way nicer when they started building new ones in the '60s.
Yeah, and there's still plenty of similarities, but they've gotten better. All right, I'll get back to music.